Here we go. Champs.
Let's go, champ.
Good morning,
Here we
brother.
are.
How are we feeling? Big game?
Big game today. Yeah.
Talk to me, brother.
Feeling good. Feeling the vibes are up and about today. I think we can expect a good day in the office, hopefully, for Brazzy's 200th.
The Braz, some would say.
The Braz. The man.
The Braz. The man. So what we're going to do, guys, today is we've actually got a few segments we want to run through. And then in between drinks, we'll respond to some comments. But let's get there's a few comments already in the section. We got Mr. Ben Parsons here as always, and we love that, don't we, Chance?
We love him. Love to see it.
Kev, what's going on, brother? You ready for some pan cams post game after we win by 80 points today? Champ, do you want to remind everyone about your deal? Because Ben's just brought it up himself.
Yeah, well, if you guys haven't been in the Moving the Magnets and show, we did make a little bit of a bet. So first bet was initially the eating the chili if North Melbourne win, the ghost pepper, if we can get our hands on one. But then we moved it to Frampton kicking 2 goals because we don't want to see him in the forward line. So am I up against it? Yes. Is it a high possibility? Maybe. Kind of high. But if he does kick 2 goals, I will be eating the ghost pepper or habanero, the hottest chili we can find, and that will be at the movie the pie performance right at the end.
But no, we'll find the chili. I'll find the
you'll find it. I'm leaving it with you. I'm not going to go out and seek it, but you can go and find it, champs, and we can go from there.
Kev, I hate games against these bottom 4 teams. I know it's an interesting one, but we're trying to spice it up, and that's why we're getting Caleb to eat a chili a ghost chili when Billy Frampton kicks his second goal. Within the first half, brother, he's gonna kick those 2 goals. We need to come out hard, not make it easy for them. The Braz, George Yassel, mate. He's made it on time. Let's go, champ, huh? Shama?
Go, champ.
Huh?
Shama.
Morning, boys. Go Pies. No way you're eating a chili, Caleb. Fan favorite Digsby here. Let's go. Jackson, Rob's in. The squad's in. The squad's in early. Up and about.
There's no better way to spend a Sunday morning.
Digsby's already. The hot takes are coming in early. What's he saying, champs?
He's saying Swan's being carried by Ums. How pathetic was Adams last night? Such a waste passenger. Yeah, he copped it hard, huh? You got that big bump. But you have to go in and lay that massive bump on him, right? If he's going up, he's throwing 7 in your face, you're gonna have to let him know, right?
Yep. Still can't kick over a tin, man. That's funny. Yeah, Joel Marty, 9 goals, man. What the fuck is going on there, brother? Was it 10 touches? It was like 11 touches, 9 goals, 1 behind. Talk to us a little bit about that, brother.
Mate, that's a performance and a half, isn't it? We watched it together at the pub. It was a good game to watch, but 9 goals gets the 3 votes. In my eyes, for the Brownlow for the game, not. Yeah, so it was.
Was he 29 and 2? Nah, we got to honor the forwards, huh?
You got to honor it. It is traditionally a midfielder's award, but you got to factor in 10 touches, 9 goals. Bloody yeah, crazy effort.
Exactly right, brother. You're coaching today, lad?
Yep.
Tell us about let the show know that you're gonna be leaving me high and dry. Let them know, brother.
Yeah. So got coaching at 3:20 today. Have to be there 2:20. So I will be missing some of the game. Have to watch it back later tonight. And you will have to be doing the post show by yourself. But you're not going to be by yourself. You got the fan cams going on. So we'll have Mick, probably Benny rock up. So you won't be alone, champs. We
need Ben. We need Mick. We need Kevs. We need everyone. We need Chris Cassette. We need Daniel Cassette. We need everyone in the chat. Got to give me a hand today, guys. When Caleb's in action later. A few more comments, brother. Grundy a beast last night, certainly within all Australian contention. He is a man on a mission, and I'm sort of happy for him, to be honest. After the year he had at the D's, I listened to his podcast with. Did you see any snippets from his podcast with Dylan Friends, brother?
No, it's good.
Nah, fuck it off, man. Fuck it off. Ben Rods off to the game, should be good. Hot pies, hopefully so. All the best. Bent Rods. I read out Ben Rods. Warner's a freak, brother. Here you go.
Kev says, I still think the Swans will have their down patch. The problem is you need to play 4 quarters against them and not 1 quarter. They are peaking, and not many sides are going to go through the season without copying many losses, right? They've only had the 1 loss so far. So for them, they probably need to get a couple losses. But we're looking at the fixture last night, champ, and it seemed like they had a pretty decent run home, right? Like they don't have
and North, brother. Do they have Eagles and North in their run home, or is that Carlton? Yeah. That's Carlton. Sorry,
was that with Carlton? Yeah, let me.
But Swans had a reasonably favorable run as well home.
Yeah, and then we've got the big task of going up there and facing them at the SCG, which is not going to be an easy feat.
No, and likely, as we said, we will likely have to, if we finish 4th, which is probably where we're trending at the moment, we'll finish 4th. I don't know if we finish any higher at the moment. That's our best case scenario. We'll probably be playing Sydney in the first qualifying final.
Yeah, fuck that off.
Fuck it off, man. So
PTSD, man.
That will be interesting, that's for sure. Guys, in about 3 minutes, at the 15-minute mark, we're going to get into some of the segments. So drop as many comments as you like, guys. We'll try to get through them before the segment begins. Pies Footy Fan will help out Anthony with fan cams. Thanks, champ. Champ Benny Parsons. 2022 qualifying final where Cats hadn't lost in almost 3 months. I do remember that. That will be us, hopefully. Gonna have to beat Sydney in the finals at some stage. Exactly. There's no working around it. Ideally, maybe we get them in the qualifying final, so we have that double chance. Maybe we, hopefully we beat them, brother. We go straight to the prelim, and then we don't have to see them till the MCG in the big dance.
Hopefully, champ. Hopefully, I remember watching I went to the game, the Geelong Sydney game, and that was, my God, that was a blowout. Lucky I got free tickets to that, but Jesus. That was a blowout and a half. They don't travel well, Sydney. They can't do it at the MCG on big games. Can you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. And who's your sub, brother? I know that's part of the segment. Will be a part of the segment, but what are your thoughts? Give us a little bit of insight ahead of the release of the sub.
Yeah, look, I would like to see Tujath start and not come on as a sub. But if you're to look at all the historical debuts we've had this year, they've all started as a sub. And it's just an easy way for them to come in and migrate into the pace of the AFL. So if I had to guess, just based off historical data that we have from the season, Tujath might be the sub. Otherwise, it's going to be Reef McInnes that come in as a late call up with Oleg getting omitted due to the back injury.
Yeah.
And what do you reckon?
Day starts, right? Surely.
Yeah, I would like to see him just get a good run at it, and we can really see, I guess, how Tujath can come in, especially against the North Melbourne side, and see if he can get his intercept mark game going. He's, averaging about 15 disposals in the VFL at the moment. So we'd like to see him come over, translate, and we're going to be playing a lot of forward half pressure footy today. So we'll hopefully, if the ball does get booted out from the Kangas defenders, he can really get his intercept game going and kind of be good integration into the AFL level.
Yes. All right, brother. Let's get into the segments. First one of all, and it'd be rude of me not to leave the floor to you with this one. Mr. Braz, 200. What have we got for Mr. Braz, brother?
Well, big 200 games from the Braz. he's just a epitome of a player that you would love to have in your team, and someone you would hate, play against, right? Like he's the epitome of that. And with the Braz, you can always see him. He'll always rise to the occasion. He might not jump out in the stat lines and a lot of things, but a lot of his efforts are, big spoils, big tackles, 1%ers, his intensity at the ball. So I think, instead of like reading out the stat line and giving you guys his statistics, all Australian 2022, etc., I think my favorite Maynard moment would probably be if you looked at, like, if you asked me, champ, how does Brady Maynard play? I would probably go with that Liam Ryan tackle where he punches the ball, ball goes directly up in the air on the wing, and then he goes and lays a big tackle on Ryan on the wing. So that would be my favorite. I reckon that's one of my favorite Maynard moments. Big tackle, big spoil, kind of like the epitome of who he is. What would your favorite moment be?
You know what? Mine's a left field one. I think my favorite moment was when, I think it was Anzac Day 2023, where he absolutely shanked it out of the back line. And I just remember that was the moment where I was like, damn, like Fly McRae's really changed the mood in the club, because it was probably the biggest shank he's had in his career. And it resulted in a direct goal from Sam Wiedemann. And everyone just got around him, and everyone was just laughing, taking a piss before the next centre bounce. Fly McRae's having a laugh on the sidelines. And it's just indicative of sort of the trend in the way Collingwood have been going and the approach they're taking to the game. It just goes to show you can have a laugh in a high octane environment. And that's, I know that's a more of a team thing, but I think Brazzy was like, it's the Braz. Like, for the Braz to be able to have a laugh in that moment, I think it just goes to show how far Collingwood have come since that moment, or since 2022.
Yeah, it's instilling good culture, right? That you can make a mistake, and I'm sure you've had coaches in the past, champ, where you do that and you're getting dragged, and then they're definitely hearing about it, right? But to be able to make a mistake and say, "Hey, it's a game of footy. Mistakes are going to happen," and the boys can get around and have a laugh. It epitomizes a good winning culture, and it just gets the best out of each player.
Yeah, and Brazzy Maynard is the first player from the 2014 draft to hit the 200 mark, brother.
Yeah, I did hear that during the week. His first, second, and third efforts are unreal as well. I think there was a really good clip we even had it in our footy chat against Fremantle, when he had a big first effort, second effort, and then he came across with that big sport. I think it was a smother, and that kind of epitomizes him as well. So those two moments for me would probably be my best Maynard moments.
Yeah,
and obviously when he's punching on with people in the getting beat up, when he ran through Mitch Robinson back in the day against Brisbane, and just getting around the boys, huh?
Yeah. I feel like there's a 1% moment for Brazzy every week. You've seen the one against Bailey Fritsch. Was there another moment, brother? He absolutely fucking poleaxed someone on Monday as well.
Yeah.
Okay, to Jack, brother. So, what are we hoping for regarding his performance? And then the follow-up will be, how does he start? Which we sort of already touched on, but we will quickly skim over that again. So tell me.
So ideally, I would like to see him start. I'd like to see him get a good run versus North Melbourne. It's going to be a good game to get some intercept marks going, just because we're going to have a lot of the ball into that upward half. So I'd like to see him come in and play that role. But if you look at historical, like I was stating before, all our debuts have come in as a sub, and I guess Fly sees that as an easy way to transition guys into the AFL. With Reef McInnes being the late caller for Olog, there is a strong argument that he could still be the sub. So his game is dependent on, is he going to start or is he not going to start? If he's the sub, I would like to see him get on, maybe early in the third quarter, so he can get a long...
Especially for blowing them out, right? Surely.
Yeah, it's like, what do you got to lose? Maybe if Sidey's... I know he's listed on halfback, really play there. I'm not too sure, but is that where you go, hey, Sidey, let's just manage minutes, you play a half, and then Tujath comes in? That could be a possibility. Let these older guys rest the case, right? Because there's no point of us if we're up by a lot, let's just try and manage the bodies a little bit, right? It's a long season, so that could be, where we can see Tujas come in.
Yep, and he will make mistakes today, but we've seen the VFL highlights, brother. This man is not afraid to take the ball at the highest point in his marks, and if that is the way he goes about his footy in the air, and you've seen him dash across halfback, he's not scared to take the game on. He'll make those mistakes, but he won't be knocked for not trying, and that's all I want to see from Mr. TJ today.
Yeah, exactly right. There was some really good highlights, like you're saying, to take the ball at the top of the flight when it's going up 20 meters in the air and still come down with it. It's a really underrated skill, and something when we watched the Moving the Magnets Part 2, where he just lets his man go forward, gets caught under the footy, ball goes over him, and he just has the ability to read it, back his own judgment, and then take the mark behind. That's going to be a skill that I would like to see carry over into the AFL. The only reason why I state that, champ, is you're coming up, you want to prove yourself, you just want to back your judgment. Sometimes I reckon guys who come up, like you said, at local level from reserves to seniors, that's totally, I can only comment on that because that's my experience, is they can read the ball really well in the reserves, but then they get too focused on their man because they're playing at a higher level. So I would just like to see Tujath come in, back his judgment in his intercept marks, and not get caught under the ball, and continue to show his good intercept mark ability.
Yeah. Yep. So really excited. Derek Hine rated TJ very highly and said he was ahead of CJ, his brother, when they were the same age. So, and you've seen CJ just played his 50th game for Hawthorn yesterday. Without his injuries, he could be at a higher level, but we've seen CJ from Hawthorn play very well. And if Derek Hine is basically insinuating that TJ will be a better player than CJ, then we've got another player who's set for 200 games for the black and white. But we'll just roll into Collingwood's last 5 matches. And, brother, I'm going to look at differentials because I think that's always a fair reflection when it comes to comparing statistics with differentials, because it's relative to that exact game. Whereas you look at Fremantle, they play a different game. They don't score as much, but they keep teams to a lower score. So we're going to look at differential. And I just want to talk about Collingwood's centre bounce prowess of late. We've spoken about our scores from stoppages, but specifically the centre bounce, where we are currently second in the league for scores from centre bounce. And I think that's a direct correlation, brother, between Jack Crisp and Nick Dacos lifting their game to another level this year. And if you look at who's sort of floating around within those with Collingwood in the top 4 when it comes to scores from centre bounce, you got a team like Western Bulldogs that has Adam Treloar, Marcus Bontempelli, and Tom Liberatore in there. So that's right there. That's your best midfield in the entire league and has been for the last few years. And then you got Hawthorn, brother, playing like a top 4 side right now. Yes or no?
No, they're playing great at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. So I've said many times, guys, if you haven't heard me before, I'll say it again. I'll go on a limb. Good sides that win flags kick goals from centre bounces. Melbourne against Western Bulldogs in that 2021 grand final. I wonder if I can pull that stat up quickly, just, brother. But you've seen that. Brother, do you remember that moment when Charlie Cameron kicked that goal in the grand final last year? Do you remember what happened roughly just after that from the centre bounce by any chance?
What happened, champs? Refresh my memory.
Pendlebury gets the centre clearance. Brody Myercheck creates a contest in the 50. Nick Dacos catches it in the air, hand passes it mid-air to Degoe, bang, instant response. So that's the importance of the centre bounce. I'm just trying to quickly check the grand final if the stats there for the scores from centre bounce. Melbourne scored 45 points from centre bounce compared to the Western Bulldogs 8 in that grand final. That's the difference. And let me just quickly see as well the 2023 grand final, brother. Collingwood versus Brisbane. Collingwood 19 points, so 3 goals to Brisbane's 2. And what was the margin, brother? Less than a goal in the end, right?
Yeah.
I rest my case. Centre bounce dominance is important, and we seem to be ticking that box so far, particularly in the last 5 matches. Is there anything that you wanted to highlight, brother?
Yeah, and that kind of epitomizes, the centre clearances. And if you're good at centre clearances, you're also good around stoppages. So we're fourth in the last 5 games based off scoring from stoppages as well, which kind of highlights to our dominance. But I think what can't go understated is, yes, we're seeing an uptick in centre clearances and how well we're performing, but one would still is our tackle pressure around the ground. So, in the last 5 games, we're still third in tackles, and also we're third in tackles inside 50. So when the ball's getting in there, we can trap the ball in. You got guys like Bo McCurry, Lockie Schultz that are able to go hunt the ball and then either create another stoppage in there or turnover. So that kind of epitomizes the Collingwood winning mantra. And if we can, continue to work and do a great performance in tackles, and then obviously, dominate around the centre clearances, it's got to be a long day for North Melbourne.
Yep. Spot on, brother. Have I got another stat for us? Defensive half. I've harped on that a little bit, guys, but I think it'd be really nice to see Collingwood score 40 points from defensive half, which is our average last year, and it's 8 points above AFL average. We're currently third last in the last 5 matches for scores from defensive half differential. So I'm not too sure what's going on there. Our turnover game's improved. Like I said, we're scoring from stoppages, centre bounce, but I still think we need to lift that a little bit more if we really want to complete our premiership profile for 2024, brother.
Yeah, you got to be able to transition the ball smoothly. Like even in the last 5 games, North Melbourne is ranked above us in that stat, right? So something that we need to work on to, I guess, yeah, we obviously need to work on it. But like if we're able to trap the ball inside our forward 50, maybe that's why that number's down based off last year. But last year, our defensive transition was pretty much the way our scoring source worked, right?
Yep. Yes, sir. And brother, our defensive profile since round 2, so we had GWS, then we had Sydney, then we had St Kilda. Since then, we are arguably the best defensive side when it comes to points conceded. In the last 5 matches, let's have a look at our opposition's average and see where we rank just there. So in the last 5 matches, we are conceding just under 10 goals per game, which is second best in the league behind Sydney. And who's next to us again? Another team that's playing like a top 4 side, Hawthorn. So our defensive profile is there, which is good. What does our goals for suggest? Let's have a look there, guys. Our goals for, brother, probably still got a little bit of work to do in the last 5 matches. We're averaging just below 13 goals per game, which has us at the AFL average around the 8 to 9 mark on the ladder. You've got teams like Brisbane, Sydney, and Hawthorn that are in the top 4. So we're close, brother, but I still think we're probably, like, profile-wise, we're in the 5 to 6 mark. Do you have any clubs with that, my friend?
No, not at all.
No dramas with that?
No dramas. In agreement, man.
Yep. And North Melbourne, last 5 matches, there's not really a whole lot to point out to that. Respectfully, they're pretty subpar in almost every category that exists in the AFL game.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to highlight in that?
Nah, not really. Like, what was I trying to highlight? Like, obviously, they actually outrank us in defensive half scores. But I think when you play a side that is, struggling, you just got to focus on what our game style is and what we want to get achieved from the game. So I think going in today, we just got to get some guys firing, who we'll talk about in a second, to really build confidence. And then if guys are sore, like I'm saying, if Tujath is the sub, then you can rest guys such as Sidey and stuff like that, so you can manage their minutes and really make a good run for the finals. So I think that's what we need to get out today. Obviously, don't get complacent. Come out with a hot start. Focus on us, on what's been winning games, and then just expand off that.
Yeah, that's pretty much the bottom line, isn't it, brother?
Yeah.
And who needs to lift for the Pies? Maybe I'll have a crack first.
Yeah.
Who needs to lift for the Pies, which is implying they're not doing super well. Who needs to lift for the Pies? Brother, I'm going to say, this is harsh, but I'm still going to go with Charlie Dean for mine.
Yep.
Just because I just want to see a little bit more. And yes, it's a lesser opposition in North Melbourne, but I think we still need a little bit more of a sample size from Charlie Dean to really figure out whether he's going to be a part of our finals series endeavours. And I'm not convinced yet. So that's why I want to see a little bit more from Charlie Dean for mine. Do you have anything on that? And if not, who do you think needs to lift?
Yeah, I think just to add on onto your part, right? Like Charlie Dean had a good game last week. Okay, let's try and make that the benchmark for him now. There is a possibility where if he doesn't, start locking down these. I know Sam Darcy was a little bit of a stitch up when we played against him against the Bulldogs, but having performances like that, that is your assignment for the day. And unfortunately, he did get stitched up, but you're going to have to keep making those performances and not get out positioned or, find what your strength is, because there is a possibility that Frampton does swing back into the back line when we have a full healthy side, when Coxie comes back, so he doesn't have to play in the forward line / ruck, and then he could be out of his spot. So I think, for Charlie Dean, he needs to really take his opportunities that he's given at the moment. And that kind of segues into my next player is I have Sullivan. He just needs to lift to cement his spot. Like he needs to continue. Yes,
so context. So it's not like brother, just to interject. So we're making a point. We're saying players need to lift, but it's like there's context. As you just said, Sullivan needs to lift to solidify his spot. And I'll let you go on, brother.
Exactly right. And for Charlie Dean, he needs a lift to hold his spot for Frampton if there's a world that we only have Darcy Moore and him back there. But yeah, for Sullivan, he just needs to lift, have another big game. He's to kind of push out Mitchell. I don't know what exactly would be the pass mark today, but I would just like to see him, be more dominant around the stoppages and keep shoveling the ball out. So yeah, I know he's. I think last week, I think about 70% of his ball use was handballs. Maybe I'd like to see a couple more kicks in there and see if he can bust it out of a pack and actually start driving that, because he's an inside mid, but I would like to see him start doing a little bit of more center clearance dominance.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe, yeah, exactly right. Show us what your outside game looks like today, Lockie. We've seen you have shots on goal, so we know you can find the scoreboard. We know you can feed the ball out from a contest, but the best midfielders or the most sustainable midfielders who continue to remain relevant are players who can play inside and outside. Patrick Cripps is probably an anomaly in the sense that he's, let's call a spade a spade. He is out and out and inside mid. Once you see him on the outside, he can't really burst out of packs and he can't really kick the ball. But he's so good on the inside, like Matt Rao, so good on the inside. But the best players, if we have a look at the highest rated players, brother, from this year, for example, Marcus Bontempelli, inside bull, unbelievable on the outside. His polish, his kicks going inside 50. Isaac Heaney, the second highest rated brother, inside and out, can kick goals, good above head. Nick Dacos, we already know about him. And then you've got Matt Rao, who's predominantly a contested possession fiend. But like I said, my point is let's see, as you said, brother, let's see if Lockie Sullivan can show us a bit of an outside game at some point.
Yeah, and that just brings his game to the next level and really makes it hard for Mitchell to come back in.
Yep. And my question with that notice to you, brother, which I feel like you'd be well prepared for this. Does Bo McCreary need to lift?
Well, champ, you know what my stance is. I love Bo. We wanted to see him in the midfield. He got his minutes in there. But footy is, the two-game street, right? It's defensive and offensive, right? We know what we're going to get defensively. I would like to see him today at least sneak in one goal, I think is a reasonable request against North Melbourne. But yeah, I think if he can really get that offense going, I think he can really be danger. So for me today, Bo, one goal. And I think Bobby Hill and Schultz, I'd like to see them, especially Bobby Hill, come in today and have a big day and kick a few goals, get his confidence going. Because we need him. We need him to lift offensively. I know he's been really good around the ground, setting up score involvements and goals, assists. But I need Bobby Hill to go and at least kick me 2 goals today. And I don't think that's unreasonable. I think Bobby Hill 2 goals. It's a must for him today.
And Bo hasn't kicked a goal for a month, brother. What's your stance on that, my friend?
Yeah, well, we've highlighted in the Pies performance, against the Bulldogs. Like, do I still have the stats, the word open? Like, he was unreal defensively. Like, he played, his pressure acts were through the roof, led the game. Tackles was like 14 tackles. He had an amazing defensive game. But the reason why I gave him a low score, I think it was like a 6 or 7. I think it was like a 6, to be honest, champs. It was because he just not firing offensively. I think he ran at 33% disposal efficiency for the day and got 8 disposals. So, I would just like to see him lift offensively, and I don't think that's too much to ask for Bo. And I think today it's kind of now or never, right? Like, if you're playing a side like North Melbourne, you want to see him hitting the scoreboard. You want to see guys like Bobby Hill hitting the scoreboard. You don't want Frampton kicking 2 goals because I don't want to eat a fucking chili. But, champs, here we are.
Caleb will be eating a chili, a ghost chili, the hottest of the hottest, if Billy Frampton kicks 2 goals or more today, guys. And you'll see that on the Pie performers, which we'll be doing tomorrow, brother. So a quick turnaround as well at that.
That's all right, man. I'll get the milk.
Champs, I'll be back. I've got to go to the restroom. My stomach is playing funny buggers with me. The floor is yours. Maybe you can go through and answer some questions that are in the chat, okay?
Yeah, easy. I don't like this because I can't click on the comments, brother. That's the only thing I don't like. But I'll read them out.
The toilet's calling me, brother.
It's calling you. That coffee's going straight through you.
All right, later.
Easy. All right, what are you guys saying in the comments? Like I was saying, I can't actually pull up the comments, but I'll just read them out. So, Digsby, I'm assuming you were referring to Bo here. The pressure is fantastic. The pressure acts are all good, but it's not enough at the moment. Yeah, especially when you've got guys out like a Myercheck, who, we score a lot through. We want those type of guys to be lifting. So, yeah, we definitely want to see Bo come in, at least 1 goal today, and continue to do what he does defensively. And also for Bo, if he does get midfield minutes again, I know your disposal efficiency naturally goes down because of the pressure of the game. But, when he was in there third most midfielder minutes against the Bulldogs, you can't be running at 33% disposal efficiency. So would like to see if he does get more midfield minutes for that to continue to rise up, because we saw last week he played more traditional, his half forward kind of role where his disposal efficiency is sitting around like that 60 to 70%. So we just want to see that lift if he goes into the midfield today. What else we got in here? Digsby goes, that includes a concussion weeks through. No. George Bond, Bobby does provide forward line pressure. That's so important nowadays. That's exactly right. And that's what kind of you're seeing through the stats for the team stats. So Collingwood 3rd in tackles, but we're also 3rd in tackles inside 50, which is elite. So, the one thing you always get taught in footy is, if you can't score, get a stoppage in the forward line. And guys like Bobby Hill, Lockie Schultz, and Bo McCurry are a big factor of that. So obviously if the ball gets down there, let's just try and get a stoppage. So yeah. What else we got here? Digsby saying Frampton comes alive. I don't know. We'll see. He had a shocker last week. Only 2 disposals leading into the 4th quarter. It finished the game on 4. Would like Look, I do like Frampton, and I've actually really come to like his defensive game. When he's in the back line, he comes and plays on the key. I like that. That's the home I want to see him. I don't want to be seeing him in the forward line. Maybe I was overzealous to sign up for the 2 goals, but you live and you learn. You shouldn't be reading comments and getting old G-dub like I was, but we'll live with it. If he kicks 2 goals, I'm happy. We get a Collingwood win, and I eat a ghost pepper. So we'll see. We'll go into the next thing. Frampton will get slaughtered by Larky. Yeah, Frampton, the only thing, my gripe with Frampton, if he does play on a key or someone who's a little bit quicker, is his first 2 steps are very slow. Like his reaction speed. I don't know if it's his reaction speed or it's just because he's 6'8", a little bit heavier, and he doesn't have that burst speed. But yeah, first 2 steps, he's generally a little bit behind. So if he's on these guys, Larky or Max King, who's quite quick, Kerno's pretty quick as well, it was quite evident he can get torn apart. Even I think he was on Harry Mackay when we played Carlton, and that's where I really saw him kind of get caught out of position with like his little burst speed with the 2 steps. So yeah, hopefully he can work on that during the off season, just so he can come in and be really dangerous as a key back. Rob Dar says big game from Hill. Need a big performance from him. Yeah, I'm for Bobby Hill. I'm giving him a pass mark of 2 goals. I think if we can get 2 goals from Bobby Hill, that would be a good pass mark. Continue to do what he does best, which is just be electric. As soon as the ball hits the ground inside the inside 50, he's there applying a lot of pressure. So we want to see Bobby Hill today perform and kick a couple more snags and get his goal kicking accuracy, a set shot a little bit up. I think, last year he was about 60%. Now from set shots, he's running high 40s. So we'd just like to see him go back and take his time and find his routine, because, goals and set shots are of an essence, and we really need that in the final series. So needed to take all your opportunities. What are some comments? Matt Spencer, Bo needs a standout game. Yep. Yeah. I'm for Bo today. Continue to do his 9 tackles, his 20 plus pressure acts. But I think at least today, a minimum for Bo, 1 goal for me. Stealth Ninja, how you doing, boys? Just joined. How you feeling about TJ debuting? Thanks for joining, Stealth Ninja. Anthony is just in the dunny, so he's taking a little bit of a rest break. But we're feeling good. We're feeling optimistic. We'd like to see TJ come in and start. We were talking a little bit earlier. Historically, we've seen, debutantes for Collingwood come on as the sub. I'll actually check the AFL app if it's been announced, but I would like to see him start today. If not, I would like to see him get a good run. I think, maybe, I know Sidey's listed as on a half-back position. So if he does play that, maybe give Sidey a half and then let TJ come on, and let's manage the minutes of these older guys. So that would be an ideal world. Or the other situation is Reef McInnes, who was the late call-up for Oleg, who got had that back injury. So he could be the sub, but we'll see. We'll see. We just want TJ to come in, play that intercepting role that he does, and I think it'll be a good game from him today against North Melbourne. Be good time for him to come in, especially if we can lock the ball in the forward half. With inside pressure, ranked 3 for tackles inside 50. If North Melbourne are going to boot the ball out, we saw Sidey last week take 2 intercept marks from just setting up well. Guys like Tujath, Darcy Moore, they can really come in and just intercept the ball and lock the ball inside our inside 50 or forward half. So I think backs could be a good day for intercept marking. So excited. The long-winded answer, Stealth Ninja, is we're excited for TJ to come in today. Hoskin Elliott, anytime goal. Yeah, I reckon I'd back that in. Maybe another specky would be nice. Jack, North Melbourne are $6 head to head. That's to be expected. do you guys have any other questions for us? I think what would another pass mark be? So to recap, Sullivan to lift just to show some outside ability to lock out Tom Mitchell. That was one of the I guess needs to lift, but is kind of like a pass mark to cement his spot. We also talked about Charlie Dean just being able to continue to have performances like he had last week. And I think another one, Finlay needs to come in and have another good performance. I don't think he'll hold a spot when we have a healthy squad, but he needs to just continue to build on having good games. We saw him play a more traditional midfield role last week, so we just need to see him lift there. I would also like Schultz to hit the scoreboard. I think if we can have Bobby Hill and Schultz combined for 4 goals, that'd be a good day. Yeah. What else we got in here? Aldin, Keezy, 9 goals for Kruger. Would love to see it. Would love to see it. What do you guys reckon for Kruger today? What does everyone in the chat think? You reckon we can get 2 goals, 3 goals from him? Obviously, great performance last week, but yeah, I reckon 2 goals would be pretty much a shoe-in. Maybe if he gets 3, that'd be unreal. But it'll be interesting to see how, when Cox comes back, Kruger comes back, potentially McStay, how our forward line looks and how tall we want to play. So it's going to be a big selection headaches when the time comes for that. Kruger, Digsby, what is your fascination, I guess, with calling players out to get injured? I don't know. So 11:48, Digsby goes Kruger, no goals, calf injury, subbed out. We don't want to see it. I think you were calling for someone else to get injured the other week as well. But yeah, no, don't put the juju out there. We don't want to be discussing that. So yeah. Kev Magpies says our VFL team is getting smashed by 32 points at quarter time, but with Reef, McInnes would play him on the ground and have Harrison as a sub. Wait, so sorry, Kev. So you're saying you would have Harvey Harrison as the sub and start Reef McInnes? Is that what you're saying? Because I think Harvey Harrison's been having a very good year. And he should probably, I don't think he'll be the sub today. I'd be very surprised. Some would say I'm that confident. I would bet another ghost chili on that. But what else do we have here, guys? Yeah, you can't really look into the VFL results too much just because we've kind of taken a lot of talent out of the VFL into the AFL squad. So I think, yes, you want your reserve team to be firing, but at the end of the day, you want the guys that are in VFL to come up and do a job at AFL level. And we're seeing that. We're seeing guys, Harvey Harrison, come in, play, very well. We've got, Kruger being able to come up and make his debut, but make his first game back from injury in a long time, come in, play a good game. And yeah, that's the whole point of VFL, is to develop these guys ready for AFL. So yeah, it's good to see that these guys can come in, and I think that's where you get the big tick mark instead of what our performances are in the VFL. What else do we have? Plastic Carrick says, was it a mistake to give AJ 2 years? I would have to look at it what his contract was, but I think based on when they signed him, he was quite good for us. I think AJ is such a confidence player that he was in the preseason. All the coaches were saying he was training the house down, and hey,
I'm back.
Hey, yeah,
Sorry,
he was training the house down.
I had to empty my guts, man.
No, that's all right. We were just talking about AJ and his 2-year contract. But I was just saying, from base when they signed him, he was playing really good for us, and he's just down on confidence at the moment, and you can't really foresee that. So Yeah, that's what I was kind of alluding to. I don't think it was a mistake. I just think, you can't really, you don't really know, because at the time with the information they had, I would assume that would be a good choice, champs.
Yep. All right. Breakout game, brother. I've got a comment in the comment section here. Would love a breakout game for Reef. Brother, tell me, is it possible to have a breakout game against a North Melbourne? Because we saw players play beyond their ability, maybe, or their usual standards against West Coast, a la Finlay McRae, kicked 3 goals, hasn't really had the same impact. Is it possible to have a breakout game against like a North Melbourne today?
Yeah, you can't, probably wouldn't look too much into it, but you got to take the opportunities you're given. And for Reef, like, I don't know, I feel like he's I guess he didn't have a breakout game like Kruger, but he's averaging 2 goals a game at the moment, which is elite, right? For the games he's played in. So I actually think he's very good for us, and I actually really like Reef. I actually tout him quite highly, and then I think he comes in and does a great job today. I do see Stealth Ninja regard. If you want to pull up that comment regarding Reef playing mid, we could actually see him play midfield. In the Casey Demons game last week, he probably had about 40% centre bounce attendances. And as we alluded to previously, that he was actually drafted as a midfielder. So I think, if you were to experiment him in the middle, I think today would be a day you'd see that, especially with that midfield stock, being injury depleted. Ned Long, who we drafted as well, is continued out with calf injury for about 2 to 3 weeks. So maybe having Reef in there as well could be a nice way to see what he can do in the midfield.
Yeah. There's a chance. Comes on. He's versatile, and that's why I think McInnes is likely to be a sub compared to a TJ. And then maybe he gets a chance to come on late in the game as a midfielder and have a little feel around in the mid like so. Are we watching the game? We're not. We're going to watch it. Caleb's got coaching, so he'll miss some part of the game and rewatch it before the Pie performers tomorrow night. And I will give you, brother, your list of players to keep an eye on. Thoughts on rumours that the Pies are linked to Logan McDonald? I actually just posted a video on that like half an hour ago. So after the stream, guys, go have a look at my latest video on Elliot Yeo and Logan McDonald. Don't go anywhere now. Just stick around, and then you can watch. What time is fan cam? So I'll probably obviously get on right after the game, have a bit of a yarn, and then almost immediately I'll put a link into the chat. And then if you want to have a chat in the fan cams and say g'day, then jump in and we'll go from there. Brother, what else do I have on the segment for us? Great video, by the way. Thanks, Stealth. Appreciate it. Where are you, brother? Are we watching footy? We are watching footy, but no watch along. No watch along. We'll do. We're due for a watch along though, aren't we, brother?
Yeah. Let's. While I don't know if you want to talk about LDU and potential move to Collingwood. Yeah. But yeah, let me just look at the fixture and let's see when we could do another watch along. Because ideally we do a big game. You know what I mean?
Essendon Collingwood, brother, Friday night. I've already got it.
Yeah, that could be a good one, champs.
Yeah.
That could be a good one.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe we do that one and maybe we can do the Sydney Collingwood as well.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Have we got a troll in the chat, brother? Hold on 1 second. Nice show, but tell others how to watch the game live and free. Well, I don't think it will be on Channel 7, so you're going to have to watch it on KO. So it's not going to be live and free, Greek Warrior. But you don't know how to write. I do. If anyone is interested, ask me how to watch it. All right. Got to do a watch along, dudes. We will. We'll definitely do a watch along. Like I said, Collingwood versus Essendon on a Friday night seems to be a shoe-in. And, brother, we'll be on our best behavior in front of the cameras, right?
Hey, the first watch along was quite good. I actually thought it worked quite well, that Carlton game.
Hey, what about that Mason Cox call? Remember that one?
Ben's left, huh?
Mr. Terry, brother, Mr. Terry from Blue Abroad has entered the chat. Welcome, welcome. How's the buy treating you? Is your weekend that empty? You've come along into a Collingwood chat. No Carlton action during the week. During the weekend, it gets a bit boring, doesn't it? It can get a bit lonely. I'm not looking forward to the buy next week, brother. Are you looking forward to the buy? What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
I don't know what I'm going to do. Might have to spend time with Mrs.
Terry, any tips on what to do during the bye week? Because it's gonna feel odd, isn't it? It's gonna feel odd. I don't know how to feel about it. But at the end of the day, players need time off.
We need the buy. We Collingwood needs the buy. We need to regroup, get some Warriors back. So
yeah,
it comes at a good time.
There you go, smart man. That's a man who knows what he's doing on the in the YouTube realms. Tune into Blue Abroad during the bye. Can do, brother. We'll definitely do that at some point because we're gonna have nothing to look forward to on this chat. On I guess from a Collingwood element, there's not gonna be a whole lot to yarn about. But in saying that, guys, I am releasing a video on the 1990 Premiership year for Collingwood, a documentary-like series. The title is when you lose by 83 points, but then win the flag 6 weeks later. So that I'm going to give Greek Warrior, you're getting the timeout, brother. I'm giving you a timeout. Put user in timeout. That's the first time I've had to do a timeout on this channel. I'm not happy. I don't like.
There's a first for everything, huh?
I don't like. I don't like canceling people or silencing people. But sometimes there's incessants that you just can't put up with. Blue Abroad, where's Terry? Terry said something. He goes, don't need smalls with 2 common medalists. Terry, what's going to happen when Charlie Curnow slips over and hurts his knee and isn't available for the final series? How do you guys adjust to that? You know, you got Matthew Owies, Jack Martin sort of in and out with injuries. What's the contingency? Brother, what do you think about Carlton's premiership fancies without... Look, I think without Mackay, they can definitely still do a number in the finals. But without Charlie Curnow in the forward line, I feel like that is going to be a predicament one stretch too far for them.
Yeah, they're they're relying on him. So, and he brings a lot to them. And, you know, if he's not taking a clanger of a mark, he's bringing it down. So, yeah, they're kind of, you know, Terry, they're kind of a little bit of a one-trick pony. They got the Twin Towers there, so one of them goes down, especially Curnow, then they might be in some trouble. So, you know, you got to respect that. If they can stay healthy, then they can definitely push far into the finals.
Terry says, why are we thinking Charlie won't be there? I was apprehensively manifesting that maybe he gets injured for the sake of the Collingwood Football Club because I'm not looking forward to a matchup of Darcy Moore versus Charlie Curnow because I just think Charlie Curnow, he's 6'4", but he's so strong in a one-on-one contest. Aerially, he can match it with anyone that's 6'6". He's destroyed Darcy Moore in the past, so that's essentially the reason why we're hoping Curnow may not be available for the final series. But Mick, the music dude, says Terry from Blue Abroad, the only Carlton guy I'll be happy for if they win the flag. Top bloke. Exactly right. Terry's given me a bunch of advice and has set the scene in the YouTube world. And a lot of these shows are basically based off what Terry does on his channel and bits and pieces. I've taken bits and pieces from the EPL and the NBA live streams as well. So Terry's set a nice little framework for people like Caleb and I coming up in the scene. And without him, then maybe we're not here, brother.
Yeah, that is a big possibility, isn't it?
Yeah. Giving me too much credit now. All good, Terry. All good, Terry. You deserve it, man. You deserve it. Yeah. What else have we got in the segments, brother? We've had some really good talking points. We talked about Luke Davies-Uniacke, brother. Obviously going into free agency. My question to you, brother, is do you take a Luke Davies-Uniacke, who is arguably the cream of the crop when it comes to up-and-coming midfielders who are just pretty much entering their prime of their career, or do you go for a Bailey Smith who maybe you can get a slightly better deal for, given his ACL, given being basically played out of position at the Bulldogs in his last season, playing in the wing, half forward flank? What are you opting for in this situation, brother?
Yeah, like, look, you would love to have LDU, right? You'd love to have him at your club. You know, he's showing tremendous upside, right? But what are we going to give? Like you know what I mean? Like, how do we get him across, champs? That's the thing. I think, you know, Bailey Smith, he showed tremendous upside. Yes, he's coming back from an ACL, but that kind of bodes well in our favor, where we could probably pick him up for a little bit cheaper. And you know, yeah, like you say, he was playing out of position, so we're going to get him back in, play under an inside mid role, and be under tenure of Pendles and Mitchell and these very veteran midfielders. It would be a good framework for him to develop his game and find some form, like he had in that final series where he teared it up. So,
yeah,
I like the Bailey Smith shout. I would love to see LDU come across, but I just don't know how we get him.
Yeah, and guys, with the trade, I guess the trade requirements or the scope of trades will look different. Maybe as early as this postseason, we could be looking at being able to exercise giving away future first round picks beyond the next year. So similar to the NBA, where you can trade away. I've seen picks traded away 3-4 years in advance in NBA. That's something that is likely to come into vogue within the AFL. So if that happens, that sort of gives teams, not only just Collingwood, because there's other in the league, gives them a bit of flexibility as to what they can offer players in the immediate term and trading off your long term. And I guess Collingwood are sort of in a predicament or in a timeline where we're in our premiership window now. So we're a side that's likely willing to give away future first round picks for players like LDU, Bailey Smith. But for me, brother, I think I'd go a Bailey Smith just based on maybe we can pay him less salary wise. Maybe draft picks as well. I think we could probably get Bailey Smith for lesser picks compared to an LDU. But yeah, that's probably my take on that. And then, brother, we've also got Thomas McGuan coming in from he's a bottom major this year, playing for the Western Jets. Father, son of Mick McGuan, premiership hero in 1990, who's a midfield / winger and very well could be a top 5 prospect going into the draft next year. And he played yesterday, brother, but not for the Western Jets. Do you remember?
He played for Keilor in the EDFL, you know, where a lot of my mates actually play in. And he snagged 3 goals for Keilor and had a big 100-point win. But, yeah, good performance from a 17-year-old.
So 3 goals from a 17-year-old in the Premier Division in the EDFL under his dad, who's actually coaching at Keilor, right?
It's a good story, isn't it? It's kind of 1-1 for the core memory bank, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's plenty to be optimistic about. And I think there's just so many variables that can play on Collingwood's immediate future and long-term future with father sons, next-gen academies, Luke Quaynor, the future first-round picks. I think the AFL is going to have a lot of talking points to actually work through moving forward, and is good for footy, is good for clubs, good for people like us in the media world, where we'll always have something to talk about because of all these variables that are rolling through at any given one time. Like next year, I'm pretty sure, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but next year throughout the mid-season, you will be able to make trades for AFL listed players, not just players within the VFL or other state leagues. So that's going to be something to really look forward to as well this time next year.
And something else to look forward to is the sub for the game. Well, not the sub, but Reef McInnes has been announced as the sub. I just double checked on the AFL thing, and I've been seeing it pop up in the comments. So thanks, boys, for commenting. But what that does mean, champ, is Tujath will get his break the mold for the year in the blueprint of not starting as a sub, and we're going to get to see him have a long run today. I'm super excited about that.
Can't wait. How good's that? TJ starting, dashing off the halfback flank. Do we think? Has to, surely. Can't put him in a forward line. That would make zero sense, no?
Yeah. Does he have any experience playing forward line, Champ?
No, that's what I'm saying. But like you've seen
Yeah.
in the past where like highly touted midfielders coming through the draft, they sort of just corner them into the forward line and let them sort of ply their trade there. But you'd either expect TJ to go halfback flank or a wing. Is Jai Simpkin a laid out team, Mello? Can we get a fact check on this, Jamie? Pull it up, Jamie.
Pull it up.
Digsby, TJ will be
Oh,
the house.
he is too.
Good call.
That's huge.
Which is a shame because Jai Simpkin has played really well recently. I just want to pull up his game from last week. He was really good against West Coast. Was probably the second best player for North Melbourne behind Nick Larkey. Jai Simpkin had 28 touches, 12 contested possessions, 5 clearances, and 2 goals. So that is a big miss for a team that is riding off the confidence of a big win in Perth against adversities late in that last quarter, brother. That's going to be a big out in the grand scheme of things, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Do we know what happened, like injury wise?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there any news on the AFL website or anything like that, brother? Or just laid out?
It says injured, brackets injured.
Unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Let me
But
just
guys, that
recheck.
also means on the topic of teams being finalised with subs, it means Nick Dacos makes it to the starting line. There were talks, will he get through training? Will he play the shin soreness? Will we rest him? Will we put him as a sub? In the end, Nick Dacos makes it to the start of another game, and we get to look forward to a clash between Harry Sheezel and Nick Dacos. Harry Sheezel had a good game last week as well, brother. He had 30 disposals, 40% centre bounce attendances, which means we will see them, Nick Dacos and Harry Sheezel, match up in the midfield at some point. 12 contested possessions and a goal himself. And brother, didn't you play against a certain Sheezel yesterday as well?
Yeah. Played against his brother against Ajax, and you guys can look up the results if you want, but I'm not gonna out us of how much we got pumped. But I think his brother kicked 3 or 4 on us. Quite short actually. They surprised me. He was only 5'9" or something, 5'8", 5'9". But yeah. What was I going to say, champs? Jai Simpkins is out for hamstring, low grade hamstring. So they're probably just resting him there. Digsby, I played against Harry Sheezel's brother yesterday against Ajax. We got pumped.
What's his brother's name?
Toby.
Toby Sheezel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
They have a strong like Jewish community there, don't they?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, they do. Yeah. Good blokes, actually. Like, sometimes you verse flogs on a footy team, they're actually decent blokes, which were good. One thing I do like about, what we've kind of seen in today's game, champ, and you kind of alluded to it before, where, a highly touted midfielder would come in and just get lost in the forward pocket. You're kind of not seeing that as much anymore. Like, we're seeing, who Nick Dacos and Sheezel, for example, who, came off through the halfback, right, and still got in amongst the game, and they kind of just didn't get left in the depth of the forward pocket role. So I actually really like how the game's kind of developing and changing and allowing these guys in the midfield come in and potentially play off the halfback. But also you see now that draftees and the NGA and Coach League are really preparing guys to come into the AFL. I feel like that transition these days, it's happening like that, right? Like Nick Dacos can come in and make an immediate impact from all the groundwork that's happening at the AFL level. So it's actually commendable to see that.
Yeah. I think Sheezel is playing more through the midfield, 40% CBAs now. So there's that. And then maybe, I think now there's a time where they may be rolling him a little bit more forward and then bringing him up for the stoppages. But he definitely plied his trade, as Caleb pointed to, as a halfback flanker. And you know what, man? I think just young players are just getting better. There's more coverage. There's more resources for them. There's more scope to make a better judgment on their potential. And there's probably going to be less and less busts. There's still going to be busts in the league, brother. Like this, that's inevitable.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're going to get more accurate scope on players coming in through the coach league and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah, and one thing like I think now, which is really good, you've got guys, like AFL on Instagram, you got so many good pages. You've got Enhanced Football teaching about ball drops and how to kick the footy. You've got like kind of guys like, Prime Train that come in and show you that there's another way of playing footy, not at the AFL level and local footy, but they also instill good work ethics for kids coming through. My under 15 team, boys that are coached, they're all over that stuff. I send them Instagram pages, links, and it just helps them develop. So that's why I think, social media, take it as what you want. But if you're looking for good information, it is out there and it is helping develop these guys and instill good work ethic. And I'm seeing that at a grassroots level, just coaching. And, you're seeing it now, these guys making these transitions through all the academies and coach leagues and stuff. It's really good to see. And it's just great for the game.
Yes. And what was your experience, brother? You had a player in your team that was invited to the Collingwood NGA. Can you talk a little bit to that, brother?
Yeah, so essentially the NGA stands for the Next Gen Academy, and the zone that I coach in is the Collingwood zone. So I had them reach out. They said, "Do you have any players?" So essentially, to attend the Next Gen Academy, you have to have at least one player, one parent to be born overseas, or like yourself being born overseas, and they were looking for more Southeast Asia, Islanders, and African descent. And then these guys get funneled in through an elite pathway through the NGA, where they can go to training with Collingwood, get some eyes, and play actual games on them against other NGA academy teams. And that's just a good elite pathway to just for the player that did it. He was super excited, even though he's a massive Carlton supporter. But he donned the
reluctantly put on the black and white. Huh?
He did me proud. I saw the highlights, played very well, and I was extremely happy with his performance. But yeah, that's what I'm alluding to. That there's a lot more pathways from even when I was a kid. Like I would have been eligible for that. Just missed it. There is like a NGA where like Isaac Quaynor and Reef McInnes come through, but that's like an elite pathway NGA, whereas this one is more like a grassroots one where you can still get scouted and then you can get funneled through to the elite one where all the coach league guys come through. So it's like a two-step approach. So yeah, no, it's really cool to see.
Okay, and just for reference, I think with the draft, if you're a top 40 pick from the Collingwood NGA, any team can still pick up that player. However, if Luke Quaynor, for example, who's a part of the Collingwood NGA, falls out of the top 40, we can match any bid. Official predictions for today. Well, brother, it's that time. Talk to me.
Okay. I'm going Collingwood win. I'm going 59 points.
59 points. When was the last time we won by 100 points, brother?
It was GWS 2012, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2012, 2014 or something like that. Collingwood, for the first time since 2014, win by 100 points. You all right, brother?
No. Come in the air,
man. Good,
man? I'm good.
And what about... Ben says Collingwood win by 45 points and Frampton kicks his 2 goals, which means Caleb will have his ghost chili tomorrow in the high performers. How was the guy that broken 4 ribs?
Do you know what he's regarding?
No, is he talking about Petrarca, Ryder? You talking about Petrarca? Because
and a spleen. That's
finished.
Yeah, finished.
For the year. So that's interesting. But that's my predictions. Let's talk pass marks, my friend. Let's talk pass mark. What do you think?
Pass mark. Are these like the kind of hot takes that
a little bit more than a pass.
Yeah, a
little
little
bit
bit of
more on the front.
overzealous. Yeah, well, we'll start with a reasonable one. I want a minimum for Bobby Hill 2 goals today,
Yep.
which should be achievable. And if he doesn't get 2 goals, the high performers he might get a low grade. But yeah, I want 2 goals from Bobby Hill.
Yeah.
And what else what another pass mark? I would like to see Bo McKira kick minimum 1 goal. These aren't too out there. And then I also had I want Sidey to have a big game today. So I think I said I want him to have at least 22 touches today and maybe a goal. And that's my overzealous pass mark for today for Sidey.
Yep. My pass mark. Let's start with Charlie Dean. 15 touches, 2 intercept marks as the baseline expectation. I want Lockie Sullivan to have 20 disposals and 1 goal with at least 10 kicks, operating at an efficiency of 60% plus in the midfield. And my final pass mark is Billy Frampton to kick 2 goals or more.
You're a dog. You're a dog. You are a dog.
Yes. You recall North Melbourne beat us comfortably in the preseason. I do, Yorgos. I do recall that they did beat us comfortably. And maybe it was early calls for concerns because Collingwood started that season. We started the season off quite slowly, but the narrative has changed and our work ethic has changed. And we're the number, as Caleb said earlier in the stream, we're the number 1 pressure side in the comp as of late and for the longest time over the last couple of years. So is that a Collingwood mascot there? Behind Caleb, yes. Show us your other mascot, brother, in the form of a bobblehead. A bobby head.
A bobby head. You can have 2 champs. You can have the goats. Huh?
So we got Bobby Hill, and who's the other one?
Apparently the captain. I don't know, man. It's not Pendles, but apparently the captain, man. I went in. I said, "Hey, give me the captain." I was expecting Scott Pendlebury, and they gave me Darcy Moore. So
where can you get this, Jack?
You can get all the stuff behind me at the AFL store. I'll have to give a quick shout out to Chris, your brother, who did buy me the stuff behind me. I think he felt bad for a personal issue of dogging me,
letting me
down at footy, and he just went out and bought all this stuff. So it was good to see close mates like that. But yeah, he got it all at the AFL store. So, and it was pretty cheap as well. So
yeah. Stealth Ninja says, I want to see McRae get at least 5 tackles and 4 clearances. Totally fair. And I like that. It's a good pass mark, Stealthy. 4 clearances is reasonable.
Debut it. TJ.
Yeah.
What is his pass mark today, champ?
Give me 2 intercept marks and give me 10 touches. That's all. That would be a good performance. But I just want to see TJ not shy away from the game because he doesn't do that in the VFL. He doesn't shy away, does he? Takes his marks overhead, runs and breaks. He breaks lines, and that's it, man. I'm just that's like the silver lining in a damp fixture against North is we get to see someone like TJ debut, and that becomes a massive focal point going into the game that we all get to keep an eye on.
Yeah. I think for TJ, like you alluded to, like even if his disposal efficiency isn't the best today, I'll just still like to see him run and carry and break lines. Yep. So, don't shy away from the occasion. And yeah, I actually reckon that's a bang on 2 intercept marks and 10 disposals will be a great game from him. What about the Braz? 200 games?
Yeah, the Braz, the Braz is going to, what's he going to do?
I could see him coming for 1 goal today. I can see it. Getting the hands off someone.
Handball receive?
Yeah, sneaking around, wheeling around, 1 goal, that big left fucking foot booting the ball from about 55 out. I can see it.
Yeah, I'll take that. Brother. I'll take that. But champs, I think maybe we call it a stream and prepare for the game, and we'll see you guys for the post game, and you'll see Caleb for the pie performance with me tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And brother, I'm hungry, so I gotta go eat, man. I gotta go eat.
Man, you started the stream early. I didn't even have a coffee. Didn't have a tea. Like I was unprepared. I joined the meeting, the request, I'm going to call it. And then I see it counting down and there's only 3 minutes left. I'm like, what's going on? But no, that's right. I'm going to get something to eat now. So
yeah. Post game show today, yes. And guys, don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already, but only if you enjoyed the stream. If you didn't, then don't like the video, the stream. Simple. All right. See you guys.
See you guys.